see silverfox coming from Bozo. Just want to talk to you right now about probably one of the most important topics in the West right now that I think the vast majority of people just do not have a healthy perspective of. You know, most guys, the vast majority, I'm going to go with like 80% or whatever, in the West, constantly blame and slag feminism for how it's destroyed their dating life and it's ruined women's femininity and blah, 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 blah. And to some degree, of course, some of that is true. I personally think the feminist movement was incredible initially. You know, I'm not a fan of very macho, chauvinistic, pig mindsets. And so I think it's good that some of that came out and has been dealt with over the years in Western civilization. You know, I think it's good that women have get paid an equal amount of money. That one's a bit of a sticking point because I still think it's really, really gentlemanly for the guy to be able to pay when they go out for coffee, for dinner, for dates, and all that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't work. You know, if a woman in the West, you know, if she's making the same as the guy, then they should theoretically split everything, and it's fucking unromantic as hell. I'm a bit more in favor of teaching guys how to be very generous and charming, and then society is how it is. But that aside, for which I'm sure I'll get some terrible comments in the bottom, but that one part aside, I think the feminist movement was actually a really, really, really good and important thing, and I think it addressed a lot of evils in society. I personally don't think it's a good idea that a woman would be in her job, and if her boss wants to fuck her, that he has a right to fuck her or she loses her job. I don't like that kind of world. So I'm kind of happy that that movement came in place and created, you know, some repercussions and accountability and destroyed that kind of system and control and power. I like that, you know? But there's some very unintended consequences of feminism, particularly in the West. It's been disastrous on some levels. Normally we look at that with men. We look at how, you know, male suicide is 5 times higher than women. We look at how domestic abuse is equal in both genders, and yet for women there's thousands of abuse shelters and hotlines and free counts and all different types of things in the US or in Canada. And for men in Canada there's none, not even one. So if you're into equality, and if we know scientifically, which we do, that, you know, domestic abuse is not gender-based, well, come on, of course, there should be something for men. But that's all an aside. I want to talk about it from a completely different perspective. I want to talk about it and how it affects women. How feminism destroys the quality of life for women in the West. So in the West, women are taught when they're brought up that you have to be masculine. You have to be very masculine, get into the workforce, prove that you can be a CEO or a high-powered lawyer, put off your desire to have children, basically compete in a man's world and prove that you're better than, that you're as good as X, Y, Z. And that's fine. Okay, women are taught they can have everything. You're gonna be able to have babies, you're gonna be able to fall in love and have a romance story and a guy that treats you great and a great career, and you'll just have everything. Unfortunately, it's a load of shit. So that works fine when a woman's like 20 to 25. She's beautiful, she's partying, guys want her, whatever. She gets to be 25, maybe 28. She hits what we call the wall. The wall is when a woman's value in the dating pool plummets, and it literally falls almost vertically. In the West, it's not because of age. It's because the woman, her physical beauty diminishes, because that's what happens when you age. That's not my fault. But she has no femininity. So men are attracted to your femininity as a woman. I'm kind of hoping some woman would be watching this video, because I think it's very important to actually coach women in femininity in the same way that we coach men in masculinity. I'd actually like to start doing that at some point. And I've got some clients that it's kind of just come up organically with different women. But I think it would be really cool to actually have a resource for women like that teaches women how to be feminine properly. And I'm not talking in like a 50s in the West, go home and make his dinner and do his laundry. I don't mean like that. I mean delicious femininity that's positive. Let's call it positive femininity. You know, it's completely lacking in the West. I was in Colombia for, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months, and then I went back to Canada last June. And I was literally in culture shock. I was starving to death because there was no femininity around. I would go out with my mates walking around doing day game and talking to people. In an 8-hour day, I would see 2 tourists, 3 tourists that were very, very, very feminine. It was like wandering around and literally just like famished, and there's no food, and there's no water. Femininity is delicious to men. Like, forget about sex, just interacting with feminine women, it's fucking delicious. And in the West, it's completely a no-go. So if I was watching this and I was a woman, maybe you're in that 25, 28, 30-year-old age range, you realize that your value in the dating pool is plummeting, and a lot of women just get really angry about it, and they want someone to blame. That's where you get into these extreme feminists, blah, blah, blah. Men get shamed for being so superficial and all that other bullshit. It doesn't really work like that. Women were very superficial in their own ways when they're in their early 20s. You know, they dated older guys because they didn't like the guys around them because they didn't have the qualities that they wanted in a man. Guys do the exact same thing. Like, you know, I don't date women that are my age. I'm not attracted to them. But I'm not attracted to them. It's not just physically. It's because of their energy. They become really, 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 really bitter and macho, masculine after maybe, I don't know, early mid-20s in the West. But you come to Latin America, you can meet a woman that's 30, 35. She's gorgeous and extremely feminine. And the age is a non-issue. I met a girl, I was with a girl last night, one of the most, probably the most feminine woman I've ever met. Fashion, incredible, the details, her hair, her nails, her walk, her way of interacting. She's got a very high power corporate job here, but she's extremely feminine. She's 30. Amazing woman, amazing. So if you find yourself, you're in Australia or Canada, the US, or even Europe, and you recognize that in yourself as a woman, you know, my heart goes out to you because you bought into a certain narrative that just simply wasn't true. And then you get to be 28 or 30 and you realize it wasn't true and you squandered your youth. You weren't building the femininity that men want, and now your value in the dating pool is diminished. But it's not set in stone because this isn't connected to your age. So it's very easy for a woman to learn to be more feminine and become far, far, far more attractive in the dating pool. But it requires work. The same as for men, we teach men how to become very masculine because it's how they up their value in the dating pool. And a guy can do that even if he's in his 20s. We've had young students, if you remember the Huevo Negro. We've taught young students how to do what is extremely masculine, and they get the same reaction from women that I get as an older guy, you know? And it's the same with women. You know, if you're 22 and you're very feminine, you got the world made. If you're 32 and you're very feminine, you still got the world made. You know, you're gonna have a ton of guys that are incredible fighting over you. But you gotta learn what you gotta do. So we've actually got a lot of women in Latin America that we've either interacted with or just different people that we've met. We've got fashion coaches, we've got women that can teach you how to dance, how to flirt, how to do makeup, how to do your hair, like the whole package. You know, within the next year or two, I'd actually like to have some kind of, you know, quarterly seminar for women. Which basically teach you how to be more feminine. It's the other side of the coin, you know? In the dating pool, it works fucking incredible when you have very masculine men dating very feminine women. That would be basically the upper tier of men and the upper tier of women, and they get together and they have a fucking incredible time together. So if you're female and you're watching this and you want to be in the upper tier, there's totally a place for you. So get in touch below, we'll put you in touch with other resources. And you know, life is all about improving, knowing what you want, and then improving to get there. Stop the bitching and complaining that men are the way they are. And the same for men in the West. You know, if you don't like masculine women, stop your bitching and complaining. Get on a little short flight and come to Colombia, for crying out loud. We're doing boot camps here I've been here for 2 months. I think I'm here for another month. And then at the end of the year, we'll probably be back here for a couple months. I think I'm going to Asia from here, and then I'm going to be in Eastern Europe for the summer. So book a boot camp. You know, 1 week boot camp and transform your masculinity through the roof. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourself a good one.